What's going on, everyone? This is a Sorcerous Cup tournament that we did, hosted over on PogoColosseum. This is the finals for all the Gladiator Cups that they did. Let's look at my team. It's similar to ones I've used. Going in round one against Alpha Phebe. Notice that he had the Clay Doll and the Hypno, so he's probably using Mudslap on it. And we both kind of had the same idea here to use Wigglytuff. We knock each other out. And then go into Muck, which isn't a terrible play against this Azu. He calls my shield. And then I actually have a really good counter here. Just these Mud Slaps do nothing. And it takes them a little while to get the Psychic. A little bit of lag. But I go ahead and I am able to do double Sky Attacks here. Shields one of them. I'm go ahead and use my first shield. On the second Psychic, I do get the drop there, I think, in defense. And then he decides not to shield that Sky Attack. And go for the bait, and then he had enough energy right away. Takes me out with the Play Rough. And that is just enough to knock it out. And I'm able to survive and wing attack down the Clay Doll. So his Mudslap's doing no damage to Noctal because of its resistance to ground moves. So knowing that he wants to use the Clay Doll and that does decent against the rest of his team just because Noctal is kind of a beast. Go ahead and keep it on the team. Let's see what he does. I led the Hypno. I think I was trying to catch either the Clay Doll or the Azumarill. Ran into a couple different trainers during these Sorcerous Cups running Double Fairy and a little tricky to play around. But he does leave the Wigglytuff again. So it's not the greatest just because Charm hits so hard. So I go ahead and switch in mine. Go ahead and shield this and then just try to Charm down. And he switches out. And I go for the Play Rough here. He shields. So we're even shields here. And I do a decent chunk to his Azu. I'm not going to shield this as a Play Rough. Go ahead and go for the first Thunder Punch. And be able to get one more Confusion in. I probably could have Confusion down, but it been really close. He has the Clay Doll, so this is perfect. So I have this in the back. And one shield apiece. It's pretty much game over. The Psychic does do a pretty good chunk, and he got the debuff again. There's his last shield. I go ahead and shield up too. And I'm going to hit the Sky Attack to wrap up game 2. That would have been a really interesting team to play. Vigoroth, Venomoth, and Pika Raichu. I don't think the Azumarill would have liked the Raichu very much. So we have a reverse of the last game. And I'm just going to sit here and Charm down most I can. Take the Thunder Punch. Gotta shield this last or the second Thunder Punch. And he decides not to shield. He has Frostlass this time, so I'm in kind of a bad spot here. Yep, Shadow Ball, great. And I'm able to do quite a bit of damage with Confusion, and I block the last Avalanche, and then yeah, he's got the Lanoon, and the thing's gonna go straight for Thunder. He still has one shield. Yeah, so and he's gonna hit me with another thunder. And that'll be it for game 3. He's got his revenge against my Noctal. Hopping right into round 2. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. I think I would butcher it. I get this matchup with the Wigglytuff versus his Noctal. Decides not to shield and just takes the advantage there. And do a little bit of a pretty good chunk of charm damage before I send in Hypno after the Wigglytuff faints. I take the Hydro Pump and he switches out into Licky. So not in a great position just because it has such an energy advantage at this point. And now I'm out of shields. He can shield once basically. He's going to hit me with another Earthquake. And then I had to get that one more. Look at that. That doesn't even have any health. I had to Confusion down to have any hope there to get off the back-to-back Thunder Punches against the Azumarill. Shouldn't have let it basically get all that energy on me, but didn't. If I would have switched, then I don't think I would have had a good chance anyways. So I get the Hypno on the Noctal, so this is a positive matchup. Just gonna do as much damage as I can with Confusion and go for Thunder Punches. I need to shield the second one. And I'm able to Confusion down. And I just kind of blindly go for the Thunder Punch. And so I get countered with Azu here. I'm going to go for the Play Rough. I believe they shield, yeah. And go head straight into the Thunder Punch. I'm going to let him just Hydro Pump me so he's out of energy. And this is super risky. Go ahead and get one Avalanche off. And then I'm able to get the Shadow, which I think Avalanche would have killed anyways. But that just had so much energy. Why not? Alright, so we're even up. One game apiece. So running, obviously he's been running this Azu and the Licky both games. Still wasn't really too concerned about the Toxicroak. Was a little worried that Bronzong might make an appearance here to try to counter down my Wiggly. So decided to lead Frostlash just in case that did happen. And I get the Noctal, which is, even better. So immediate switch. I'm able to counter Hypno right away. And I'm just going to start putting shield pressure on him with these Thunder Punches. Not going to shield the first thing. It is Hydro Pump. Can't tell you how many Hydro Pumps I've taken in all these Sorcerous Cups. I'm able to get off one more Thunder Punch. Shield, so I have a 2-0 shield advantage. And go ahead, shield up that Play Rough, and Wing Attack down. So his own Noctowl comes right back out. I'm going to go ahead and take the Sky Attack here. And he switches into the Licky. So a little kind of a bad situation, but I'm able to just get out these avalanches super fast to take it down. And then I just kind of beat down his Noctowl with my own. So that was a good game. Very well played. Round 2. Going into round 3 against Alan. Pretty much the same team I have. I feel like I usually struggle against teams that are very similar to mine. He does have the Azumarill instead of Wigglytuff, which I think is really the only difference. I do have a pretty solid lead against him. And so he switches out into Azu, which is his best counter for my Wigglytuff. And then I'm able to counter and then just start going for these Thunder Punches. Get one shield. And then he's going to go ahead and let down his Azu go down. And he brings in Noctal. And there's a very good swap right as I'm going for the Thunder Punch to sack his Hypno. But I'm not going to give it a lot of time to farm up. And I just switch into my Muck here. Shield this first Sky attack because I know he's about to have another one anyways. Gotta shield one of them. And I just go straight for Sludge Wave. And it almost knocks him out. I'm gonna faint here, but I still have Wigglytuff. This is pretty much full health here. So take game one. One charm was all I needed. I didn't have full health Wigglytuff. Smoke and crack again. So I expect him to counter, which he did the same thing. To lead my Hypno into his Noctowl. I was hoping to catch his Azumarill, but this is probably just as good. He gets his double Sky attack back to back, and then I go ahead and throw Thunder Punch. Kind of expecting him to switch. And there he goes. So in the Toxic Croak, yeah, which is very kind of interesting considering that was a Hypno. I probably could have stayed in, but go ahead, get some energy on my Wigglytuff. And then there's the Azu. Throw this Play Rough, does a really good chunk of damage. And then go ahead, and I think I just send Hypno back in. I'm going to take this Sky attack. That's a pretty good chunk. So now I have 2 Dark Pulses. And I'm going to go right second for that second Dark Pulse, which is just enough. Take out the Azu. So that was GG for game 2. I wish Xatu was a little bulkier. That would have been interesting to run in this cup, probably. But I think, I feel like, didn't they nerf Ominous Wind? Just gonna go classic strategy. Just gonna lead Wigglytuff. I think I had Hypno and Frostlass in the back. There it goes. So it gets hit the Noctowl again. Should have just let Frostlass, right? But doing a lot of damage with his charms while he's building up to those 2 Sky attacks. And then I'm just going to go for the charm down. He switches out. And the Azu, I go ahead and switch right away instead of letting them get a bunch of energy. And I'm going to go straight for these Thunder Punches. I'm not going to shield whatever the first thing is. And it's a Hydro Pump again. Lets it go down. And he sends in a Muck. Go ahead, just do a little bit of chip damage with this Thunder Punch. I'm in kind of a rough spot here just because I'm not going to be able to do a lot of damage here. But I should outpace for most of the moves. But he does get 2 off like right away, so that was a little unfortunate. He had a shield, so I had to get 2 avalanches off anyways. But that was a good round. So going into round 4 versus Mamayana, which is a great name. I catch his Frostlass with my Clefairy, or Wigglytuff. I don't have Clefairy, which is good for me. He sends in the Azu, and I want to keep that other matchup, so go ahead and send in Muck here to deal with the Azumarill. I get the bait, and he decides to double shield, so I'm going to match that. And I am going to outpace this Sludge Wave here. And it is enough to take KO. And I actually beat his Frostlass to a Dark Pulse, which was surprising. I think he must have either over-tapped or tried to overcharge. And just Muck doing a lot of damage against his team, which was great. And I'm able to just charm down this Bronzong. It was low enough after taking the Dark Pulse. Alright, so kind of got lucky there that the Sludge Wave did so much damage. I don't want to have to rely on that to kill Azu this time. So I'm going to see if I can catch the Azu in the lead, basically. Get out of here, rain notification. But I hit the Skun Tank in the front. Switching this just a kind of a neutral matchup. And I want to send in Wigglytuff right away and then get hard countered. He tries to bait me with the Crunch. And he thinks I was trying to bait him, which was great. With the Sludge Wave. I do get the shield on that one. And I'm going to go ahead and switch just to keep my Muck alive. With a little bit of energy on it, just in case he had the Bronzong in the back. And I probably really didn't need... I should have saved my shield there. And just let it go down and then sent in Wigglytuff. But I'm actually able to take that down. Oh man, I lose the CMP tie with that Shadow Ball right there. So he has energy, so I want him to use his energy to kill this Wigglytuff, and then I send the Muck in and get the Dark Pulse off. So this is pretty good. I knew he had that energy, and I knew we needed to get rid of it. I didn't want him to immediately Psyshock Muck when I switched in there. Oh man, it's just that Shadow Ball was ready. Overtapped or lag or CMP, whichever it is. Go ahead and lead Frostlass here. So if he decides to lead Skunk Tank again, and he leads Munchlax, go ahead and send in Wigglytuff just to get countered down, or countered here by Bronzong. I'm not going to shield, but I am able to get to the Play Rough. It does a decent chunk. And then I'm going to just bring in Muck here. Yeah, I call the Bulldoze. And I am able to farm it down with Snarls. So I have a pretty good chunk of energy here. I'm just going to go double Foul Play. He's not shielding anything. And then he swims back in the Munchlax, who also gets off a Bulldoze. I'm just going to keep going. I'm able to get off one more Dark Pulse here against this Munchlax. I instantly go for the Avalanche here, and they still got one shield. But this Crunch is going to be more than enough to take out my Frostlass. So this is a good game. Made really good adjustments there. And round 5, Ben Lopez. It's going to be really tough matches. His Wigglytuff must be, or his Noctowl must be pretty attack heavy. He's just tearing through my Wigglytuff. Decides to keep his shield and then sends in the Glalie. His team was running double ice. I'm going to go into a mirror here, but I don't have any shields left, so it's kind of already game over. Checking my notifications because I know got no hope in this match. And there goes his last shield, but poor Toxicroak. I actually get off the Sludge Bomb, but it's not enough. So 0-1 in this game. It gives me the Sinnoh Stone to slap me in the face. Because, I mean, who really needs Sinnoh Stones anymore? Oh, yeah, Glalie is just kind of a different kind of beast. And I kind of got suckered into using Toxicroak more than I should have in this matchup. Like usual with this, I go straight for Shadow Ball because I know most people don't shield the first attack. And I build up and I switch out and I go into Wigglytuff. And I do get hit with the Hydro Pump, which is pretty unfortunate. Because then I just get Ice Sharded down. I am able to counter down that Glalie. And then I'm going to be able to have a lot of energy from it and do double Sludge Bombs against this Noctowl. He uses both shields, which is, I mean, seems real positive for me. Oh no, he used one shield. And then I do know I barely survived. This was such a clutch play because he switched back into the Azu to tank it. And then I get killed by the quick move on the switch back from the Noctowl. Like, it was so fast. Like, I didn't even see the switch when he sent in the Azu. And then I couldn't believe it. And I just died to one wing attack. And that Noctowl had, like, no HP left. I don't know how it didn't die to a Powder Snow. That's the glorious mechanics. So I win the lead here. Seems pretty positive, right? Didn't shield the Thunder Punch. I'm going to have to shield the second Sky Attack, though. A little bit of lag. I'm sitting there spamming the Thunder Punch button. I decided to use both shields to keep Hypno alive. Go ahead and go for the bait. I get the last shield, and then I send in Wigglytuff. And take that Thunder Punch, and he sends in Celio, which I don't know if I've had to play a Celio game, but this is just bothersome. Look at that. It just spams those body slams and does a lot of damage. I'm almost able to counter down this fool. To take a body slam. And I think I actually could have gotten Shadow Ball. And then I get hit with a Thunder Punch. That thing has no health. How come I didn't get a fast move on the switch in there? But GG's, he actually went on to win this tournament. So going into round 6 against Vintage Paul. Lose the lead there kind of hard and have to switch, but Frostlass with energy is always dangerous. So I get one shield. I'm going to go ahead and match. I'm going to go for the bait on this one. Doesn't fall for it, so I go ahead and go for Shadow Ball again. And he lets that one through. But I'm able to get to one more Avalanche. So I get both of his shields in that. Take the play rough and then charm down. So I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish there, but I maybe just get energy on it, on his muck. But doing that lets me trap his Bronzong with my Hypno. And then I'm able to Shadow Ball it and then do a little bit of chip damage to this muck. And I still have a shield for this Sludge Wave. And then I'm able to get to play rough and take care of the muck. So losing the lead, Frostlass really kind of bailed me out there by being able to spam so many charge moves. Was kind of thinking he was going to run the Bronzong in the lead again. And to get the muck, which this matchup is kind of awkward if I'm willing to double shield. Because look how much Avalanche does, and I outpace it with the CMP. So he shields there. I'm going to go ahead and double shield. And then I was just about to powder snow down and he swaps. I hit with the play rough. And go for the bait. And so I get his last shield too. And then I'm going to get to this sludge wave. It's not quite enough to knock it out. So there I see he has Ice Beam. So he's running Foul Play or Play Rough Ice Beam on his Azu. And then I'm going to just do as much damage with Charm that I can. And he has enough energy loaded that I'm going to get Psyshocked immediately. So we're sitting at 1 apiece in this last round. I just was like, I don't know. I guess I either thought he's going to lead the Muck or something. And he leads the Bronzong again. No Frostlass this time. So I go straight into my Muck. I have a slight energy advantage, and that's about it. I do shield the Sludge Wave. And then so does he. Somebody went for Sludge Waves back to back. Decide not to use my shield here and send in my own my Hypno, sorry. So I'm going to just do as much damage as I can here. And he lets it go. Lets the play rough go through. And I go for the Thunder Punch. And I get the bait. So I'm able to take out the Bronzong. He doesn't have any shields. And since I know he doesn't have Hydro Pump, I know I can at least not shield the first attack. And I'm going to have enough to go, boom, right, almost back to back. Thunder Punches, and that's a GG. So I end up going 5-1 in this tournament, which was really way better than I expected to do. There was a lot of high-ranking people, and I pulled off some upsets. It was really fun. See you guys next time.